Based on the CI/CD diagram of the YAML file, I was able to create the workflow, to build the application, to create the EF migration bundle, to run the migrations on the Azure SQL Database side, and then if everything is successful, then to deploy to the Azure App Service my API, and we have 200 OK response, so everything went successfully. Hello guys, my name is Remik, and this is the part 2 of the EF migration bundle tutorial, how to use the EF migration bundles to perform the database migrations. The first part that you can check out over there that we have used in the local development environment, how to generate the EF migration bundles and how to run the migrations on your local machine. And this tutorial will focus on the CI/CD approach with the GitHub workflows and how to run the migrations on the Azure SQL Database, and then if everything is successful, then to deploy the application to the Azure App Service. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I highly recommend to smash subscribe button down below to give me a like, to write a comment. Source code is available on my Patreon, and now let's get started. Today's tutorial is sponsored by the ZZZ Projects, a company that builds some of the most practical and battle-tested tools for .NET developers working with the databases. If you used EF Core or Dapper before in the real production environment, you know how quickly performance can become a problem, especially when you're dealing with thousands or millions of records. ZZZ Projects solves exactly that. Their tools like anti-framework extensions, bulk insert, update, delete, audit, and Dapper Plus can speed up heavy data operations by orders of magnitude and give you features that EF Core and Dapper simply doesn't offer out of the box. What I really like is that these tools aren't just nice to have, they actually save time, reduce boilerplate, and remove a lot of the pain points you hit when scaling your application. If you're building anything data heavy in .NET and you want better performance without rewriting half of your codebase, definitely check out the link description and the pinned comment down below. But first, let's go through the CI/CD diagram. So the trigger, so when the PR is opened or it's updated, then only the CI check will be triggered. So this job build to build the application and build the migration bundle. When there is the push to the main branch, then those two will be executed. So build and deploy. So now in the step 1, we'll build the application and restore the dependencies and install, for instance, .NET-EF tools to be able to generate the EF migration bundle. And in the step 2, we'll use the command to generate the EF migration bundle for the Linux x64 runtime, because this is the one that I have configured in the Azure App Service plan that I will show you later on, and then we'll upload the EF bundle artifact. If there is the push to main, if it's not, then as I've said above, the CI build will be only triggered, and then if it's the push to main, then we have the job deploy. So at first we publish the API as the release to the output publish, then we download the EF bundle artifact and we restore the execute permission lost. So it needs to be triggered for the Linux-based deployments. Then apply migrations to the SQL database in Azure so that to run EF bundle and provide the connection string as the parameter, and then we'll deploy to the Azure App Service and perform some simple smoke test to get the posts offset. So this is the one of my internal endpoints in this API. And then if it's verified, then we have 200 OK response. If only one of those steps will fail, then all of the rest that are remaining will not be run because the pipeline will fail in general. So then we'll be safe to not mess with our environment because we'll know that it should not be deployed because the previous step went wrong. So to create the workflow in the GitHub, we need to create the .github directory in the root directory of the repository. So then GitHub will automatically detect that and use in the GitHub Actions. So I have created .github, then workflows, and inside of it, I have created the ci-cd YAML file. At first, we need to assign the name for this workflow. So in my case, it will be EF Core Migrations CI/CD, and this will be displayed in the GitHub. Then the first part is about when it needs to be triggered. On push to the branches main, then it will be triggered automatically. Pull request, then also to the branch main only, and the workflow dispatch. So then it will allow you to manually trigger a workflow run. So then we will define the jobs. So the first job is build, and it runs on the Ubuntu latest, and the defaults is the pagination demo, because this is the name of my root folder of the whole application. So it will be called pagination demo in this case. And then the steps inside of this build job. It uses the actions to check out the code. Of course, it's self-explanatory. Then setup.NET. So it uses the setup.NET v4 with .NET version above .NET 10.0.x. Then we install globally the EF tools that will be required to generate the EF migration bundle. Then we use the .NET to restore NuGet packages. And then we have the build migration bundle, self-contained Linux-based. As I have said previously, this is the desired runtime for my Azure app service plan. So that's why it's Linux. Then the command to be run, so .NET EF migrations bundle configuration release self-contained runtime Linux x64 with the EF bundle -force at the end. Then we upload the bundle artifact. So we use the actions upload artifact and the name EF bundle, the same one as over there, and the path, it will be the EF bundle and above the pagination demo. The next step is the deploy. So if GitHub event name is push and it's push to the main, then it will be triggered. So the first step is to check out the code, then to set up .NET once again, to publish the API, so pagination demo as the working directory, and run, of course, .NET publish with the configuration release and the desired publish directory. And then download bundle artifact from the previous step. We need to download it. So the name was EF bundle. And as I've said, we need to restore the permissions to run it. So we'll run this command for the Linux-based environments, and then apply migrations to the Azure SQL. So we run the EF bundle with the connection, and here we'll take the connection string from the Azure cloud, and the password will be used as the secret. And the secret we need to set up in the GitHub itself. I will show you later on how to do it. Then it will be encrypted true, trust server certificate as false, and the connection timeout as 30. Then we'll deploy the application to the Azure App Service. If it was successful, then it uses this Azure Web Apps -deploy v3, and then with the app name pagination demo, the name of the application that I have in the Azure cloud, and the publish profile that is marked as the secret as well in the GitHub. And I will show you how to get the publish profile from the Azure App Service. And then the package will be the pagination demo and the publish that we have defined above. And then the simple smoke test live public endpoint. So here we are using the following URL that is associated with my application, and then it just checks if we have 200 OK response. If we have 200 OK response, then the deployment was successful. And now how to set up those two secrets. So the one for the published profile and the second one for the SQL admin password. It's very simple. So in the GitHub, you go on the repository level to the settings. Then over there, you have secrets and variables, and then actions. And in here, you can create the new repository secret. So we have the Azure SQL admin password and the Azure Web App publish profile. So just in a while, I will show you how to retrieve those values from the Azure portal. So then after you put the value, then you click save, then they will be accessible on the workflow level. So in the YAML file, those values based on those secret names will be retrieved and used. And now I will show you how it looks like in the Azure portal. As you can see here, we have the pagination demo web application, which is the Azure app service, and the default domain is displayed over there. So pagination demo Azure websites.net. And the app service plan, we have the app pagination demo service plan, which is the Linux based, as you can see over there, Linux-based app service plan. So that's why we are generating the EF migration bundle with the Linux x64 runtime. How to generate the publish profile that I have used in the CI/CD YAML file. Over there, you can download the publish profile of already created and blank Azure app service. Also, in the environmental variables, this application connects to the Azure SQL Database. So in the app settings JSON file, I have the connection strings and inside of it, the default one. And in here, I had to set the value to be able to properly bind this on the startup of the application. And the last component, that is the core of this tutorial. So of course, the Azure SQL Database performing migrations against this DB. So how to retrieve the connection string to be able to use it in the CI/CD YAML file. So in the SQL Database, you have to go to the settings tab and then connection strings. And over there, you can see the SQL authentication connection string with the placeholder for your password. So this is the one that will mark as the secret. And when you create the database in the Azure portal, you have to explicitly set up this password. So I have used this one in the environmental variable of the Azure App Service. And as well, I have used that one in the CI/CD YAML file. And now the quick reminder. So the connection string that we are using in this tutorial is the only one. So the same for the EF migration bundle and for the application itself. As I have said in the part 1 of this tutorial that you can click above to check this out, we've created a separate user with the least privileges as possible to limit the security issues associated with having the full access to the database. So here I recommend to have, of course, the different connection string for the EF bundle and for the application itself to be, of course, secured. And now let's jump into creating the new migration, then pushing this code to the main branch, and let's see how it goes. As you can see, the current state of the database is as follows. So we have the initial migration and then the second one. Now let's create the third migration. So I will create another table called migration tests. So already I have here migration test.cs entity, just very simple one. And then I will create the DB set called migration test. And of course, we need to set the value generated on add for this migration test entity, but it has no ID at all for now. Okay, so now we need to have the GUID ID get set and it will be fine. So now everything is clear for the compiler. So now we can create the migration and then push the code to the main branch, and let's see how the bundle itself will take this latest migration and then run it against the Azure SQL Database. So now what I need to do, so it will be, when it's terminal, so it will be .NET ef migrations add, and it will be called third. The migration called third, as you can see, was properly created. We have the create table statement with the ID and the test. So we are ready to push those changes to the main branch. So now created another entity with migration, commit all, and then push. As you can see, automatically in the GitHub, the build job was performed. So we have the successful icon over there. We have the created another entity with migration. So as you can see, we have all the steps defined in the YAML file over there, and we have now the deploy. So setup job, setup.NET publish API, and let's see. It retrieved properly the password that is over there hidden with the asterisk. So the apply migrations to the Azure SQL. Also here we have the icon over there. So all the further steps were also successful. We can see that the site name is pagination demo, deploy logs can be viewed over there, and the app service application URL is over there. And we have the smoke live test public endpoint. Now let's check when we'll access it, and we'll use the scalar. We see that it works. We can as well test it out. And now let's check in the SSMS if the migration was properly executed on the database side. Now let's check this out. So in the SSMS, I will refresh it, so execute it. And we see that the third migration was inserted to the EF migrations history, and the migration test database table was properly created. So just to summarize, the EF migration bundles are a very handy solution to apply the migrations with the usage of Entity Framework Core. This is like the black box executable file that you pass just the connection string, and then this tool will apply all remaining migrations on the database side. If it's already in place, then of course it will not be performed. So if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, I highly recommend to smash subscribe button down below, to give me a like, to write the comment, and to support me on the Patreon to get the access to the source code from this or any other videos available on this channel. And see you in the next tutorial.